Well, take three. This is. I keep losing the internet connection. I wanted to do a live on Facebook one to cover this issue, this topic, but because the Facebook format uploads directly, it's really quite helpful. Whereas doing it this way, as I'm doing it now, recording it and then uploading it to YouTube, it seems to take a long time on YouTube to upload anything. Let me just see if I can balance this stick. I've got one of these sticks that you put your phone in the end. There we go. If I could crook it in my knee there. Modern technology. So I wanted to make this video because we have an upcoming collaborative, what would you call it, meeting? Advent of something happening somewhere, nothing happening anywhere, with Stephanie Finn and Lloyd Lappin. If you haven't introduced yourselves to them on the Course in Miracles support page, you can jump across and give them some love. But we'll be doing a collaborative on the 20th of this month, the 20th of November 2022. If you want to be a part of it, you can contact Tina Tyler, Tynatyler, Tina Tyler, in my friends list, and she will add you to our group, which will have the link for that event, which is free, of course. Everything we do is free, which will have the link for that event, and you'll be able to jump in there and pick up some helpful hints, pointers, whatever. I don't even know what anything is anymore. But the subject, the topic that we're going to be covering is the void, the darkness. And we're going to be doing that because I put a post out a little while back and Lloyd saw it, and he said, oh my God, we have to do a video about this, because he had also insights and deeply moved kind of convictions regarding it, deeply held convictions regarding it, as I do. And it tends to be something that spiritual aspirants shy away from in the main and don't have much comprehension of in the second. And I've met many people over the years who tell me that in the pathway of their meditative efforts and stuff, they come across the void. They come into contact with this sense of impending doom and this feeling like they're being sucked out of their own beingness. Their whole sanity and their psychological state is being drawn out into an abyss, into a darkness, into a nothingness, and they feel as if they're going to cease to exist. And the funny thing about that is that you don't exist now anyway. You're not sitting here watching this video, and I'm not making a video, but that's kind of paradoxical, and we don't want to get caught up in the paradox at the moment, or we're going to need a miracle. So, which is our right. Miracles are our right. But purification is necessary first, so that's where we're at. We're doing the purification bit. And what I want to do is cover that experience of the void, because there's it's a vast topic. Like, it's a vast topic. When you start talking about enlightenment, it's as simple as facing the sunlight, and it's as complex as working out how to do that. You know, so, which can be very complex sometimes. One of the things that the mind loves when it embarks and enters into circles of spiritual determination is it loves all of the conceptual bits that tells it how wonderful everything is. Generally because it's probably come from an experience of being in the world where everything's not so wonderful and not so lovely, and it's looking desperately for something to cling to that represents that loveliness. And it's amazing how the mind can read a book this thick, 700, 900 pages, whatever the text of the course is, and only read the bits that represent to it the parts that it thinks will make it happy, and somehow kind of skips by the bits that say anything to do with confronting fear or anything like that on any more than a superficial level. But of course, eventually you heal yourself of the past. You're doing the workbook lessons, and that first section of the course, you clear up and clean up all of your past association, and which automatically liberates the future to be itself, because you're no longer using past associations to reference it. And then, of course, you begin to look at the ideas of your Christhood and your holiness in the second half of the workbook, and things get a lot more meditative. And if you're doing those lessons properly, you should be finding fear. You should be confronting fear within yourself, where it says in the course, seek for the blocks and find them, right? And it also says this is a journey into fear, not away from it, all right? You may wonder why it is so essential. You look upon your anger and realize its full extent, and you also might consider that it would be easy enough for the Holy Spirit to show it to you and to dispel it without the need for you to raise it to your awareness. Right? All of this sorts of things, which is in the Fear of Redemption, in that section in the early Blue Book. And this actually is the path. This is the journey, the healing. This is where the healing occurs. So if you're doing the course and doing those lessons and you're not discovering fear, it's because you're not allowing that depth of integrity and depth of connectivity with the written material to actually permeate to a level where you really hear it. And I've had many people say to me, oh man, I've read this book for 10 years and I still don't know what it means. It's like, what are you talking about? If you truly read it as if you're cramming for an exam the next day and it's more important to you than anything, you'll hear what it's about. For me, it took me 2 years. For the first year, I got up to lesson 260 something or other in the workbook, realized my lack of integrity with the application of the lessons, and realized that I'd wasted almost a whole year sitting on some kind of superficial level with it all. And if you think you're not, you are. And I went back the next year and started lesson 1 on January the 1st with all the new students and everybody else that was doing it again. And the result of doing the lessons the second year around with more integrity and heartfelt connectivity was incredible. Things appearing and disappearing and phenomena and miracles and all sorts of stuff going on. But it took for me to realize within myself that I wasn't really connecting with it in the first place. I was only picking and choosing. I would read something, oh, that's nice, and I would focus on that's nice. And the bits where it looked like I had to do something that I really was trying to get away from, subconsciously trying to avoid in my daily life, which was fear and anger and pain and all of those things, I didn't really want to associate with it too much, But yet that's where it is that the healing occurs, and that's where it is that in the entirety of my association with myself, I hold myself up from progress by simply refusing to look at it deep enough where it can actually affect me. Right? Now, if you can see through the first half of the workbook lessons that the shifts and changes occurring there have actually affected you. You have seen healing in your relationships, and you have seen miracles and things transpiring, and you're like, how did that happen? I don't know. I swore I would never forgive that, and boom, something happened. If you can see that that's happening and that you've been supported through that, why would you doubt that you'll be supported through the journey into fear, which is more obvious and more preeminent in the second half of the workbook, right? Trust, have faith, okay? Have faith through all things, throughout all things, and in every aspect of the pursuit of your salvation. Have faith, have faith. You have no other choice, really. So, if you're discovering fear within yourself, that's good. That's good. Try to associate with it as being good and not something that you have to engage with in a fearful manner. Oh, there's fear. I'm afraid. It's like, oh, there's fear. Look at that. What do you know? Right? Now, that's going to take a little bit of practice to be the observer, to be objective about it rather than to engage with it and to interact with it. Because as soon as you do that, of course, you're screwed. It'll grab you and suck you in, and the next thing you know, it'll be a week down the track and you'll be hiding under the covers still in your bed wondering what the hell's going on. Where's Jesus in all of this? And bloody God, he's to blame for my terrible state of mind. So anyway, we're going to be discussing this in more detail and everything with Lloyd and Stephanie on the 20th. And I won't get too much more into it now on here. I just want to make a short one so that it uploads quickly, just as a kind of a preamble for that Zoom meeting and that connection, which will be off the back of our regular Zoom meeting for everyone in Europe and England in that time zone as well. So hope to see you there. And as I said, contact Tina Tyler and she'll fill you in on the details, add you to the group, etc. And we can all meet up and have a jolly good laugh about it.